Hi Facebook, I'm Ellie Frost. Happy Thursday. This video is about here's what happens when we stop telling ourselves no, right? And most of us don't even know that we're saying no to ourselves all the time, every day, right? If you want to uncover some of your limiting, subconscious beliefs, then use what I'm about to tell you to look at what you say no to every day. Every time we look at something and we feel like we can't have it, every time we think, oh, wouldn't it be nice if I could do that, but I can't, we cut ourselves off from our desires and dreams every day in some way, often, right? Not always, but for most of us, we do. We see something and we think it's not available to us. We want something and we won't let ourselves have it. We don't trust our bodies to process our food. We don't trust we're not aligned enough to be able to live and be intuitively and allow things to work out abundantly. But here's what happens, right, when we actually stop telling ourselves no. Our energy shifts, right? When we stop saying ourselves no and tell ourselves something else, something like, I'm willing to be able to get that one day, or I'm willing to move towards that now. And we start getting more definite about what we do want, right? Our energy changes. And the universal law is that abundance rises to match our desires, right? So when we get indefinite energy about something, then we're an energetic match to more money and more things coming to support us in that desire. Most of us are sitting around going, no, I can't do that, I don't have the money, wanting the resource to lead us. But it doesn't work that way round. We lead and everything else follows. So when we get definite about our dreams, when we get definite about saying yes to what's inside of us, what we truly want, what we truly desire, then our resources, we become an energetic match to more. I don't know if you've had experience of this in your life, but I've had lots of experience of it. And with my clients, where when we actually start fully saying yes to what we really want, then suddenly resources pop out of nowhere. Absolutely nowhere, because now we're a definite energetic match. But what most of us are doing is using our environment, what we're seeing, what we're feeling, to keep getting out of alignment and being judging things and being triggered by things and being feeling so much lack about things, instead of using our environment to inspire us and make us a match to more, right? Because it's everything that we see that we can get behind that starts raising our abundance vibe, that starts making us a match to more, right? When we've actually got a reason for having more, it's so much easier to come into alignment with it, right? Than just thinking about necessarily an amount of money, or, because a lot of that comes from a lot of the time feeling insecure and wanting safety and wanting security, which is also a great thing. But when we get inspired and actually start living and playing with our soul and actually going into alignment, the resources match our desires that we get definite about. But most of us, as I say, instead of using the abundance of what's around us and what could inspire us to elevate, to enable us to be an energetic match to more, because now we're inspired by things and there's things that we want and we're saying yes, instead of allowing the universe to do its job and then bring us the resources to match that, we keep telling ourselves no. We do this so subtly. We do it because we don't think we belong in certain places with certain people. I've taught my clients over and over again, and I had to, because it's something that I learned for myself, be a small fish. Because I used to be a big fish, and in the rooms I was in, I'm I need to find rooms where I'm a small fish. And that's what I started doing, and I encourage my clients to, because there's growth there, right? We want to be doing things that excite us and stretch us in order to raise our frequency, instead of subtly saying, well, it's not for me, because instead of fighting for our differences, instead of justifying why we don't get to have what we want, because this is the key to making more money, making more abundance, having more support, starting seeing things moving. We move first energetically before the world can move around us. So when we sit there going, when my money goes up and when I get more time and when this, it doesn't work that way round, right? And we just stay perpetually stuck. And we've all got like stories, but most of us, like, we stick with the disempowering stories of our lives rather than the empowering ones, because our disempowering stories, like when we've tried things and it didn't work, or why we don't get to have it, or why that person's different because they've got a family that support them, or they've got savings, or they've got it easier in some way. We've got disempowering stories about why it's harder for us that we stay attached to more because our minds love what's familiar and we want to feel that we're right. But the problem with that is many of us, all of us, I would argue, have in our lives, even if you don't realize it yet, I'd be able to find them with you, like empowering stories. And if we'd actually start using our empowering stories where things have worked out for us and like putting more weight on them as evidence that we can do things and that we can achieve things and that we can have what we want, then things will move much quicker around us. Most of us are attached much more to our disempowering stories. Why? Because as humans we'll do much more to avoid pain than we will to move towards pleasure. And so many of us have disempowering stories about when we have said yes to our dreams and desires and then maybe it hasn't worked out as we wanted it to. So we've got this evidence of why it is more painful for us to do it than pleasurable. Instead of seeing it as a lesson, right? Instead of seeing the abundance in it. When we've moved towards a desire and said yes and it hasn't worked out in the way we wanted it, we've just failed to see the abundance in the lesson. There's abundance to be found in everything we do. There's always more in everything we do, but it's our perspective that makes it look like lack, you know? Question whether lack actually exists or whether our perspective is just finding the lack rather than the abundance. What if you could see the abundance in everything, that everything was giving you more, either a lesson or what you want, or something better coming, or an opportunity in some way. But we're not taught to do this. I do have a course for that called Living from Abundance that you can actually buy on Evergreen. It's a self-study at the moment. So we want to choose to find the abundance in everything, and we want to use our passions, our desires, what we choose, what we want. We want to heal what's triggering us and use them to get definite about what we want, so that the universe can actually allow the abundance to meet us there. Because the abundance we want for those things is easy once we become an energetic match to saying yes to the things we want, and then let the universe like bring us the level of abundance we need. So much of my life has been like that, where I've made a big decision and the resources show up, right? Because I went first. I wasn't waiting for the resource to show up first. I got definite and suddenly it worked out. So many of us have the resources available to us and we don't even see it because we're stuck in this fixed lack mentality. It's astounding to me. Having worked with I've worked with one billionaire and I've worked with several millionaires, multi-millionaires, and like, it doesn't, just because they're a match to that amount of money doesn't always mean they're in an abundant mindset. So like, some of them are in lack, not because they haven't got, you know, I've shifted their mindset. I remember a multi-millionaire, like an 8-figure earner 2 years ago, just saying, you've massively expanded my my entire world, because he had very fixed ideas still of what was available to him and what wasn't, despite having a ton of money, right? So moving into this abundance, I call that course Living from Abundance, the energetic shift. It's where we find the more and the abundance in everything rather than keep confirming the lack. That piece shifts everything, right? Because if you're an energetic match to abundance, you have to have more in your life. It has to come to you. So that's one thing you can do as a self-study. But I do want to talk about, one is my membership, right? Which is at least 5 live events a year. We're going to go straight into Elevate You, which is about business, branding, authentic power, coming into your soul truth, your self and soul alignment. Is everything sales, business strategy, all that stuff, brand, and it's so thorough, but beyond that, it's an energetic shift into your next breakthrough. I'm brilliant. My genius, your genius and your purpose, but my genius is figuring out where the trauma is and getting it out your body, that thing that's in your way, and seeing what your next breakthrough is. I break all the I break you through. That's what I do with everyone I work with. So Elevate You, 10 weeks, deep dive, really intense results. Not so much work. I make everything bite-sized. I'm a hacker. Like, I hack through the complexity and bring it to you in a way that is so efficient, so effective. So it's not hours to be part of it. It's about, you get about 3 trainings a week, an hour in total. I say that I break them into 20-minute segments. You get a couple of energy clearings and activations a week, which all work on the personal development side. My clearings and activations are outstanding. What they do is clear trauma and activate new coding in you. You can DM me if you want more information on that. So that's all in the course. Plus, every week there's group coaching. So the difference with what I do is the level of personal support is intense. It is more than I've seen in other people's programs. It is, you get one-on-one support in my containers. It's like having me personally as your coach, right? So even if it's a group setting. So there's so much personal support, which again is something that is extremely valuable for people, especially in my world. So that's starting now. So if you join the membership, you get everything for a year that's a live program. Elevate You, you can come into no matter what, DM me about it. It is a life-changing course. If you're starting a business, scaling a business, leaving a job, even in a leadership role, that will help you understand you, your vision on the planet, your mission, your genius, your purpose, how to communicate it, how to know what your core essence is, what it's always been about for you. Everything that seems fragmented comes together. Your next breakthrough will appear in that environment. You will literally break through to whatever it is that's really in your heart to do. After that, we go into Visionary to Visionary. Then we're going to go into Feminine Power. Then I've got 2 brand new courses coming next year, which I'm not going to tell you what they are. They're super exciting. Other ways to work with me at the moment are one-on-one projects, plus I've got a subscription called Feminine Power where you get access to the Feminine Power course, all modules, and there's 2 group coaching calls a month. So that's currently at $222 a month or $55 a week to join. There's also Money Magic, which is my money course, healing your relationship with money. That one you can do as evergreen as well. I'd have to look at my website. I can't remember what that's priced at to do to have access monthly or weekly, but you can, or you can buy it as an online course. There's Living from Abundance, like I just mentioned. There's 2 new amazing ones coming. I've got other things that you can tap into. Evergreen, the Money Magic and the Feminine Power are great ones because you get Q&A support during them, but the membership is the highest value because it's affordable. You get these group coaching sessions pretty much every week, so like but you get such a high level of personal support. It's like a hybrid between, I'd say, a mastermind, one-on-one coaching and online programs, kicking off with Elevate You, or you can do Elevate You as a live event with me. So just DM me if you want to join that. It is starting this month. It will change your life. I've been running that work for years and years and years with all sorts of leaders, corporations, brands. But the whole thing is like self and soul expression, coming into the fullness of you. Whatever stage you're at, that course is applicable and it will shift you. So contact me about it. Lots of love, guys. I'll speak to you soon.